Hello guys, Chris here and welcome to another Fortnite video. Today we're going to be testing the GT 1030 in Fortnite Season 10 Tilted Town. This is the GT 1030 MSI Aero version, so it has a fan on it. It doesn't eat up a lot. As you can see here, the maximum we've hit was 53 degrees on the GPU, and we're running a driver 431.60. a Ryzen 7 1700 overclocked to 3.7 GHz and 16 gigs of RAM. So you'll get pretty much the same FPS with the Ryzen 3 1200 with 8 gigs of RAM as long as it's dual channel RAM. So let's get right into the game. We're going to be testing 1080p low settings as well as 1080p competitive settings, medium with no shadows, high with no shadows, and epic with no shadows. And I will be testing 900p and 720p with all of these settings in a separate video, because otherwise the video will get way too long, because I now talk in my videos, so I can't make fast forwarding stuff very often. We are seeing very good performance here, way above 60 FPS with the 1030 at 1080p low settings, and I would probably play like this if I had a 1030. These are pretty good settings. The game doesn't look bad. It's at 1080p, you know, and I will probably play like this or competitive settings, which is low with epic view distance, but I don't really care about view distance, so yeah, there's that. Oh, I just drank a big shield and there are mini shields over here, but okay. So let's do our little run over here so we can change the settings. Oh, another big shield. Alright, we're doing good here. Lots of shields, and we're seeing well above 100 FPS in fact here at the ground. When looking at there, we're seeing drops to 90 FPS, which isn't bad at all. So you could actually play this with a 144Hz monitor and get pretty decent frame rates and a very smooth experience, but I don't really recommend it, because if you guys are playing with a 1030, you probably don't have a lot of money to spend in a 144Hz monitor. So yeah, I would pick up an RX 570 instead and a 60Hz monitor than a 1030 and a 144Hz monitor, for example. And yeah, the game is running quite smoothly, as you can see. So we got some drops to the 90s, but we're getting 90 plus FPS all of the time here at low settings. Let's change to competitive settings. So here we go. Let's see how much of a hit in FPS we get by changing the view distance to epic. And I don't think it's a very demanding option, so we probably will see pretty similar FPS, like 5 FPS slower maybe. And yeah, so far so good. One more shield over here. 100 plus FPS here. Now when I look at there, yeah, we're dropping to the 90s again, but that's still very good. There's a guy over there in the tower, and another big shield over here. Damn, we're doing fine here. I'm gonna regenerate the shields over here right now. He just dropped, I think. No, he didn't. All right, let's move on. I really don't want to die right now, because I just want to keep testing the FPS here. Oh, he saw me. I'm really bad at this game, by the way. Sometimes. Right now I don't have my high refresh rate monitor, or at least the high refresh rate stuff is not working. And yeah, we are seeing drops to around 85 FPS, where we saw drops to like 90 FPS before. So yeah, we're seeing like a 5 to 10 FPS hit by playing it at competitive settings, which isn't too bad. And if you guys want to play competitively, it shouldn't be a very different experience, especially if you have a 60Hz monitor. So pretty good performance still here at 1080p competitive settings in the GT 1030. I'm gonna drink this and change the settings to medium. Okay, so medium settings are applied. I'm just gonna do my 360 so everything loads in. And here we go, we're around 60 FPS now, getting drops to the 50s. sometimes above 60, and I would say the average frame rate here is probably around 60 FPS. And please don't spot me, or please don't follow me, people, because I just want to make a benchmark video. Alright, we got 1 kill at least. I'm not gonna go there. Oh, there's a really big shield thing going on here. I'm gonna pick this up and just go away. We're gonna go there again really soon when I change the settings to medium with no shadows. We got a little bit of a stutter there. Don't know why. But yeah, that's uncommon because it's the first one we've seen today, and in this update the stutters are almost gone, as you could see. So yeah, pretty good improvement from the season 10 update, like when it first launched, because it was a stuttering mess back then, but now they fixed it and it's running very smooth. 55 to 60 FPS average. You could play like this, but I really don't recommend it. If you can get above 60 FPS at all times, I recommend that, because your aim will be a lot better, will be much improved from getting consistently above 60 FPS. Now let's change the settings to medium without shadows, and let's see if we can keep the FPS above 60 at all times with these settings. It looks like, yeah, we are interrupting from 60 now, but maybe if you get into a fight or something like that, it will drop a little bit. Right, this isn't too bad. It's actually pretty good. Medium settings without shadows. Getting very good performance here above 60 FPS. 62, I think it was the minimum so far. It's running really well here at 1080p in the GT 1030. Now, would I recommend the GT 1030 now in 2019? Probably not, despite it being very good at playing games on low settings, for example CSGO, Fortnite, Dota 2. Those lower end games, esports titles, will run just fine on the GT 1030. So unless you have like a really low end power supply with low wattage, for example from an OEM system, like 180 to 250 watts, I really don't suggest you to go out and buy a GT 1030. And that is because for like 30 to 40 bucks more, you can buy an RX 570, and the RX 570 has like 3 times the performance of the GT 1030. It's not even funny. This one gets 100 to 120 FPS on low settings in Fortnite. The RX 570 will get like 300 FPS in Fortnite. This one gets like 35 FPS. We're seeing now at high settings. The RX 570 will do like 80 FPS on high settings, 80 to 90 FPS. So it's not even close. The RX 570 is in a completely whole new tier of performance, and I definitely recommend that for just 30 or 40 bucks more expensive than this. It's definitely worth the price. Now, if you can stretch your budget, and I know some of you can't spend another 30 or 40 dollars on a new GPU, you can actually get the RX 570 used for the same price or even less expensive than the 1030. So that makes the 1030 quite a difficult buy at the price that it's going for brand new, because, well, yeah, you know what I mean. You know that the RX, I have many tests of the RX 520 in the channels. You can check that for yourself, and it's a much better buy than this. Now, if you can't buy an RX 570 used, for example, if you can't find good deals on one, then they are actually readily available pretty much everywhere. But if you really can't buy a used graphics card without warranty and stuff like that, and without knowing that it will work, and without knowing where it came from, you can actually buy a GTX 960, which has probably like 2.5 times the performance of the 1030, for around 59 euros. I think I saw one in AliExpress going for that price, and AliExpress is a pretty good website to buy these things on, because prices are pretty cheap, things are readily available, and the sellers are really good from my experience. So if the card doesn't work, or if it doesn't even come to your house, they will refund you or they will send you another one. So yeah, I highly recommend AliExpress. I have bought many things there. And yeah, the GTX 960 for around 59 euros, or that's probably like around $70, is less expensive or the same price as the GT 1030, and it will get way more performance. Now, if you guys don't want more performance than this, and if you want to pay as little as possible, there's also another option. I have a GTX 460 that you guys can find in the channel, and that has pretty similar performance to this GT 1030, and it only cost me 25 euros used. So yeah, you need a good power supply to run the GTX 460, but it also costs like a third or a fourth of the price of the new GT 1030. So yeah, maybe that's also a good option if you really don't have a lot of money and you want to play Fortnite, because that card will get 60 plus FPS all of the time in low settings in this game at 1080p, which is really good for an old card like that. Okay, so epic settings right now, we're seeing below 30 FPS. So I really don't recommend you to play on epic with this card, at least at 1080p. We'll see about 900p and 720p in the next videos, but yeah, epic settings here with the 1030, I really don't recommend it. I mean, the game looks really good, let's be honest, but well, it's just not playable, you know. 25 FPS, that's about the average that we're getting, and drops to 23, 22. Yeah, this is not a smooth experience at all, and I don't recommend it. And if you guys want to play on epic, again, the RX 570 is a compelling option. Okay, so now let's change the settings before we die with 20 something FPS. Epic without shadows. This should give us a little bit of a boost in FPS. Actually, this is a huge boost in FPS. This is actually playable right now with 40, 39. So I'll drop to 39 there. Yeah, this is not bad at all. I wasn't expecting it to run this good at epic settings without shadows. And this is what shadows do, just disabling that little option. First of all, you will see a lot better because you can see the player models more clearly because there are no shadows, of course, so things are a lot brighter and stuff. And of course, the FPS improvements are just insane. We're almost getting 2x the performance that we were getting. We're getting like 40% more FPS. Around 40 FPS when we look at there, which is the most demanding area. We see 38, 39. So yeah, this is not bad at all. And now I'm just gonna go. Oh my gosh, what happened? Why? What? I think he shot the grenade and killed himself. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video looking at the performance the GT 1030 gets at 1080p in Fortnite Season 10 Tilted Town. So I would say pretty good performance for just a little card. It also consumes only 30 watts, so it's pretty good. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. I love you all. Bye bye.